listen at me and listen at me clearly. If you don't want me coming for you, then just stop fucking coming for me, okay?
What I'm on here for about is Queen Sheba.
Play that louder now, because we don't get to hear that often. Say it louder. I think you are very open-minded about a lot. I think you haven't had an opportunity to experience a conservative relationship. Hold on. And if and when you do, come back and talk to me. Yeah.
What you don't realize is that you don't listen, man.
I don't have to. You're not my daddy.
I will pray for you, but if you get on my nerve, I will cuss you smooth out. My mouth ain't under control yet.
Let's go.
And I can throw these hands. And let me tell you something. If I get my hands on you, I promise you, you're going to know you've been in a fight. But I'm trying not to go there because I'm in transition.
All right. Welcome, everybody. It is going down tonight in the palace, and that's what we call ourselves over here. If you're on this page, I am Queen Sheba. I cover a variety of hot topics specific to what? Reality television. But y'all, most importantly, I hone in on the psychological and the behavioral traits of the Black experience. We are going to break down what happened in the freaking courtroom today. I am here to break it down. And listen, I tell you, I do my best to be objective. I came in being open-minded, and I told you every day, we gonna base this commentary off of what's said on the witness stand, what happened in that courtroom. And when I tell you it was a damn shit show today, you best believe me, honey. You get what I'm saying? Now, I talked a little crap earlier when I kind of did my snippets. And one thing I can honestly say is I'm not in bed with the media. I'm not trying to be on anybody's show. And that's not any slight to anybody. So I can come in with the real deal without having to worry about offending anybody. And that's the beautiful part of being independent. And I love sitting on top of that hill by myself. So if this is your first time, welcome. We're about to break this thing down, y'all, like a box, a bag of Legos. Now, let me just tell you, this was Jane Doe's, I do believe, 5th or 6th day on the stand. She was not having it. She was not happy. She was in a bad mood. Let me walk you back. Yesterday, she was combative. She was resistant. She acted like she didn't want to be there, and she gave the defense a run for their money. So much so that the judge had to reprimand her. Reprimand her, meaning answer the damn questions. I need a yes from you. I need a no from you. One thing I noticed about Jane Doe, she's good. She's good. And I believe when she told Diddy, listen, I'm not Cassie. I can make your life a living hell. She meant all of that, honey. Because let me tell you something. This is a trained professional. This is a highly trained professional. This girl knows her place in the ranks. And I do believe she was going for the top spot. She was going for the top spot, whether it be Diddy's camp or with Kanye allegedly or Rick Ross allegedly, okay? This girl was, listen, I'm sorry. Throw the victim stuff out the window as it relates to Jane Doe. I have to be honest with you. That's not what I got. And I'm trying to be open as a woman. That's not what I got. What I got is Jane Doe would get jealous when Diddy would show other women affection. Jane Doe understood her job, which is why Diddy would remind her, get on your job because I'm on mine. And what that means is, hey, I'm paying you for a service, but there's a little bit of crossover. You're trying to become family. And I can't become family with the girl that's here for a reason. Get on your job because I'm on mine. Your rent is paid every month on time, right? The house that you wanted for your son, which you have with another person in the industry, right? I'm doing my part. I need you to do yours. I understand where the line is drawn in the sand. But you keep creating this complexity around this relationship. And he would remind her of that in exchanges and in their communication. She did not have a problem based on the expert testimony until Young Miami entered the picture. She did not have a problem until Young Miami entered the picture. And according to her testimony under oath, Diddy started to see Young Miami approximately 6 months after he started freaking off with Jane Doe. So he started messing with Jane Doe in maybe May of 2021. If you do 6 months from May, we're looking at November of 2021. November is big because that's his birthday month. Now, when Young Miami came into the picture, she didn't get a lot of playing time. Jane Doe didn't get a lot of playing time. Let me run down the roster. When Young Miami came into the picture, things shifted. Her playtime, she was benched a lot, okay? For 3 months, sometimes 4 months, 1 month, 5 months at a time. Because I truly understand, I believe that between Young Miami, Gina, and Jesse, and God knows whoever else, Diddy was satisfied. Diddy was satisfied. So, for the last few days, Jane Doe had started testifying that she did this under coercion. She did this under manipulation. She didn't want to. And what she told the feds was 98% of the time, I didn't want to do this with him. I did not want to do this with him, but I felt that there would be repercussions. I felt that he would not pay my rent. I felt financially dependent on him. I felt that he would be upset with me. I felt that he would treat me cold. I have a couple of questions for you before we get into the freak off that happened in Vegas with rappers. Rappers who have been described as icons in the industry, according to what the notes and what the feds gathered from Jane Doe. My first question for you that are tuned in, first of all, thank you. Thank you for coming. If you're tuned in from Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, we appreciate you. Now, here's my question. Let me get my glasses. Hold on. Let me get my glasses. Here they go. All right. Now, you have to keep in mind that jurors are everyday people like yourself. Ain't nothing special about a juror. You could be a juror, you could be a juror, or you could be a juror. I want you to pretend like you are the jury. And here's my question to you as if you are the jury. My first question is, what is the difference between a woman on the street who sells herself in prostitution versus a beautiful woman in the industry who dates rappers and does freak-offs for a price? What's the difference? And the reason why I'm asking you what's the difference, because I all believe that we all, you, me, all of us have an aesthetic bias. Break it down for me, Queen Sheba. I think a lot of us have what I perceive to be an aesthetic bias. Watch this. If it's Kizzy, Tamika, Lakeisha, a girl from the hood that had sex or has sex with multiple men, most of the time in the streets, you would label that as she allowed them to run a train on her, right? Oh, she's a hoe. She's a whore. She allowed them to run a train on her. But when we come and we start to dib and dab in a different realm where women are a little bit more beautiful, we're kind of dealing with individuals in a different tax bracket, different background, more notoriety, more visibility. Why do we label everyday women who choose to do this for a price or not a price as hoes? And then when we go up to a particular demographic based on a particular look, it's deemed as sex trafficking. Hold on. Follow me. If a man, if Diddy were a regular man, and I'm not taking anybody's side, I got to put these questions out there because this is what the jury is going to have to decide. If a regular man was caught paying for sex, right? If you were caught, and you're a man in this chat, and you were caught in the streets of New York City paying for sex, you would receive a misdemeanor for what? Solicitation of prostitution. Solicitation of prostitution. You get what I'm saying? Still against the law, lesser crime, lesser impact, solicitation of prosecution. But because of the aesthetic bias that I have, you have, the state has, these women are more beautiful. These men have more money. Is it still solicitation of prostitution, or is it sex trafficking? Or is it sex trafficking? And that's what you're going to have to figure out, right? When we see the girls getting flown out to Dubai, they call it, I'm getting flued out. They don't call it racketeering. They don't call it RICO. She's going to Dubai to do what? You know what they're going to Dubai to do what. And if you don't know, let me break it down for you. When you see women on Instagram who are very beautiful and they go to these exotic places in the world and they're showing you all of these pictures of food and it looks like two plates of food, 2 drinks, but you don't see a man. They call it getting flued out. Here, we call it RICO, coercion, sex trafficking. I don't agree. I don't disagree. That is what the jury is going to have to decide. And that's what you have to decide. Is this against the law? Or is the state and the feds picking and choosing based on who they have a gripe with, a qualm with? And when, as a matter of fact, when did the feds, let me ask you this, become so interested in how women of color were being treated? I'll wait. Because a lot of times there's been a lot of pushback in the media because when Black girls would go missing, kidnapped, sex trafficking, it's a fact. They do not receive as much coverage as white women, right? We've been pushing for the same exposure, the same this, the same that. Have y'all not just stopped and thought to yourself, wait a minute, that is true. When did women of color become so important? And although these women are of a particular demographic, they are still considered women of color. Have you asked yourself that? Wait a minute, FBI, feds, hell, we've been pushing for years for you to highlight women of color. So my thought is this: follow the money. Who did you piss off, Diddy? Who wants to see you go down? Kanye, allegedly. They've been coming after Kanye for years because of his anti-Semitic remarks, and they couldn't get him. They couldn't get him because he would play in the matrix of crazy. And if you understand anything about mental health, follow me very closely. If you understand anything about mental health, it is a protected class. I've always said, I don't think Kanye's crazy. I think he's playing crazy. So when the hammer falls and they come, even if he did get time, he wouldn't get prison time. If he's crazy, he would actually be assigned to a mental health facility. Come on, y'all. Are you with me? Let me continue. Follow the money. At one point, they locked down Kanye's billions and billions and billions of dollars. Diddy's a billionaire. Kanye's a billionaire. Jay-Z is a billionaire. Does this mean that they're innocent? No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. No, it does not mean that they're innocent. But what it's starting to look like is you've gotten out of your place. And somebody needs to remind you to sit the hell down. And all of a sudden, you see the likes of a Bianca, which I believe is a plant. Okay? All of a sudden, you got Bianca doing whatever, whenever, right? And if you really think about how the feds work and how this shit work, ask people in the mob how deep undercover agents would go to the point that they actually thought that they had become mob. I think Bianca is deep in the game, but I also think she's a plant. That's just my conspiracy theory. Let me back up. Because they've been, why? But why, Queen Sheba? Because they couldn't get them any other way. Let's talk about Samson and Delilah. When they couldn't get Samson, who did they send? Delilah. What was Delilah's job? To find out his weakness, to get in there, to figure out what the hell was going on. Are these women being mistreated? I don't know. Will people go as far as they need to? If it involves money, probably. Do you know anybody that can physically, scientifically have sex for 2 to 3 days straight? Nope, nobody. Not a man, not a woman. I don't give a damn how many drugs, how many pills, how much ecstasy you pop. Your body has an automatic toggle. Scientifically, ask a doctor where if you drink too much, you black out because your body will override a freak off. Your body will override your toxic ass behavior. Your body will override however many shots you did that. And that's why motherfuckers black out. Thank you, body. The body has a beautiful ability to heal itself and step in when you're doing way too much, right? So we can apply this same scientific theory to drugs, which is why at one point Jane Doe began to throw up because her body started to override what was supposed to be a pleasurable moment. Follow me. Ain't no way a man can have sex for 3 days straight without losing an erection. Hold on, Queen Sheba, where you going with this? Okay, so we going 3 days straight. And it's just you. And listen, I never thought it was just Diddy in that room. I'm not that simple. You can't convince me it was just him, her, and a male prostitute in the room. Oh, no, ma'am. Queen Sheba's quicker than that. Queen Sheba's way quicker than that. I always understood whether they want to reveal it or not. Hold up. You record everything, Diddy, right? We know what Diddy is doing. But my thing is, if you going to take him down, you better take everybody down. And you better take them hoes down too. You better take them women down that are out here recruiting other women. You better take these women down who are accepting payments in exchange for services. You better take these women down who are also Jane Doe. Jane Doe, yes, she admitted on the stand that she was recruiting male escorts for these iconic rappers. Oh, y'all ready? We're going to talk about it. Oh, yeah. So if he go to jail, I want all of them to go to jail because let's be honest. You don't need immunity if you have not committed a crime. That's all I'm saying. You do not need immunity if you have not committed a crime. And I'm not cool with the fact that anybody that helped him pull this off, anybody that participated, I don't give a damn. You should go to jail too. And I think we get so lost in the sauce as women that we automatically assume that whatever a woman says holds to be true. Guess what? I found out this week in that courthouse, and I'm so glad I'm in New York because otherwise I would not know. I am so damn glad I'm in New York. Oh, I'm like, oh, they lie. They not only do they lie, she's just as narcissistic and twisted and dark as Diddy. When the girl got done testifying on a witness stand today, let me tell you what she did as a power play to fuck shit up. She walked down the aisle when she was done, and she stood next to Diddy's defense team, and she looked at Tenny, the white girl who took the lead on cross-examination for the past 2.5 days. She looked at her and she embraced her without her permission. She embraced her without her permission. If you don't know anything about power dynamics, I'm going to teach you my background. And this is my secret weapon. I'm not just a YouTuber. Shout out to my girl, Blanca Cobb. Blanca Cobb is an expert body language. She's a body language expert. Shout out to Blanca. I had the pleasure of being with Blanca for the past 2 days in the courtroom. And man, when I tell you God is so good, because up until I met Blanca, I felt so alone in that courtroom because I'm like, ain't nobody really seeing what's going on here. I haven't really let these other people know what my background is. I'm going to just sit back, relax, let them think I'm just a YouTuber. But my secret weapon is I'm a behavioral specialist. I specialize in organizational psychology with a specific focus in behavioral modification. So I know who's lying. I know who's not. I'm 3 steps down the road. But when I had Blanca sit next to me, it felt so good to be able to pitch off what I'm thinking, she's thinking, and we're playing off of each other. And I'm like, damn, Blanca Cobb. Yep. Check out her YouTube page. She's the body language expert that analyzed Diddy's apology. Okay. So watch this. I'm like, damn, now I'm good. I feel good. I got another expert here. But I had to remind myself, just fly below the radar. Let them peg you as a simple YouTuber. Keep your mouth shut and do your thing. So I'm sitting there, I'm watching. I knew immediately, hell no, this don't make sense. When you look at racketeering RICO, you're saying this man is running an enterprise Where's everybody else? Where is everybody else? That's the first question. Number two, it is not physically possible without huge, huge, huge repercussions. It's not physically possible for anybody to go that long and have sex. So I knew automatically from a behavioral angle, there's some other people in that damn room, and somebody don't want us to know who's in those rooms. And the question is why? That's are y'all writing this down? There's other people in the room. That's the first thing. The second thing is, if you haven't been following me, I told my audience from day one, this is being streamed underground. What you mean? Listen, somebody else is watching this. Somebody else is watching this. Somebody else is paying for 2 to 3 days. And when you think about how big the world is, global, we got to hit each time zone. So I got to go 2 to 3 days in a row. If I got billionaires, white billionaires, rich men, black men, African men, Saudis that are paying me a hefty check just to get off on snuff, just to get off on this dark, dark pornography. Y'all get what I'm saying? So then I'm jumping all over the place, but I needed to make sense, right? Air ups, thank you, right? So, hell no, Diddy, let me tell you something. I don't give a damn how much money Diddy has. He cannot pull this off by himself. And I truly believe that somebody has been digitally documented, and that's why we are here today. Because some billionaire is on a video and don't want to be on the video, which I believe is the reason that led to the raids in Miami. So when you think about the taxpayers' dollars, do you really think the government would utilize all of those resources, millions of dollars, to take boats, to storm the Capitol, aka Diddy's mansion, just to come up with baby oil, Astroglide, 5 to 7 inch heels, and lingerie? And if so, if you really think that, prayers to all parties involved. What were they really looking for? Ask yourself. This ain't about no damn freak off. This is about a very important person. This is about money. And then we find out, right, last week, according to the expert testimony of Derek Ferguson, who's the chief financial officer, right, that Revolt Television that belongs to Diddy is owned by who? Comcast, a cable company. Would a cable company have the ability to stream undetected on the dark web? That's just a question. I could be complete. I'm asking questions, allegedly. Would a cable company have the ability to stream on the dark web for a particular price? That's just a question. The second thing is, we also find out that there is a corporation. So when you think about Revolt Television, who's owned by Comcast, now they have 5 seats on the board. Facts, fact. 2 of the seats, we find out, were held by secret investors. Who are the secret investors? Y'all ready? The secret investors are J.P. Morgan Chase. Oh, wait a minute, Queen Sheba. You getting ahead of yourself. Hold on. Damn! J.P. Morgan Chase held 2 of the seats, which gave them 40% of the decisional power as it relates to money, decisions, and everything like that, right? J.P. Morgan Chase. Now, when you think about J.P. Morgan Chase, it is a banking entity. And although it's not a federal entity, they do work with who? The federal government. The federal government. Okay. Who picked up this case? The federal government. Does this mean Diddy is innocent? No. But this is way bigger than what we think. So if Diddy is in bed with the feds and JP Morgan Chase is in bed with the feds, and then we got Comcast, who owns Revolt, is in bed with the feds. And then you have Diddy fighting with Ciroc for market penetration. Did y'all not realize there was a turf war going on between Diddy and Ciroc for market penetration. They wanted to focus primarily, they wanted to skew his market presence only in the hood. They wanted to pump out the vodka, the Ciroc, only in the hood and urban areas, according to expert testimony of Derek Fisher. How come nobody's focused on that? How come the news media isn't talking about that? The financial territory war that Diddy was going through with Ciroc. Now, you would think when these bills, when these checks come through, they would have to go, they would be direct deposited to where? The banks. Diddy pissed some people off. Let's just talk about it. Let's just talk about it. Diddy pissed some people off. And as a result, they're getting their lick. Ferguson. Derek, did I say Fisher? I'm so sorry. Derek Ferguson, CFO. Derek Ferguson. Diddy pissed some people off, right? He was there was really bad tension according to Derek's testimony. And actually, let me see if I can find it really quick. If you can I want to say what he said. If I can find it, I'm going to read it. It's on my other paper. He said, for lack of a better word, they only wanted Diddy to be the face of Ciroc in hood areas. They were not willing to give him market expansion globally. This pissed him off because he was the brains. He was actually named by the CFO as one of the most brilliant businessmen most of these men have ever encountered. We're talking Harvard grads that's looking at this street dude from New York, sending him texts saying, you motivate me. Your work ethic is unmatched. You have taught me how to really defy the odds. And they said Diddy was so good at what he did. He was an evil genius in business. And he would dedicate every portion of his brain to business. That the man had to text him. The Harvard grads had to text him and say, man, I've never encountered anybody like you. And they said Diddy never focused on winning. That was never his goal. His goal was never to win. His goal was to be number one. And he was number one in business. And when he got in bed with Ciroc and realized that they were trying to play in his face, and the CFO testified, money was flowing. Money was flowing. That Diddy brought in millions and millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars. It was payday for everybody. So Diddy scratched the back of the cable companies. Diddy scratched the back of Ciroc. Diddy scratched the back of the banks, but they didn't want to scratch his black back. Are y'all following me? They didn't want to scratch his black back. And how dare you come asking for more market penetration? So I believe this is way bigger than a damn freak off. Now, we're going to use the freak offs as a technicality to shut you down. I also believe that the only reason, this is just my personal opinion, the only reason that Diddy is still alive, I believe, is because they haven't found what they're looking for. Question, what are they looking for? Otherwise, it would be a Jeffrey Epstein situation where he hurt himself, I believe, in jail. He has something. They just haven't found it. You really think they raided that house for high heels? No, they were looking for something. They were looking for them tapes. But let's get into it, Kanye, because I believe you're up next. Rick Ross, let's get into it. Are y'all ready? And I'm sorry I went off grid for a second, but I had to give you a little bit of background to bring you forward so that when we walk through this thing, it makes sense, okay? Now, they picked up this is week 5, day 22 with Jane Doe. Watch this. They wanted to focus on a specific date, a specific text that was an exchange between Diddy and Jane Doe a month after Cassie dropped her lawsuit. It was December 20th, 2023. Feel free to take notes. Hold on. At this point, I need you to realize that Diddy had put Jane Doe on ice since October, a month before Cassie filed her lawsuit. Diddy quit messing with Jane Doe. She was too problematic for him. She would fight. She was unruly. She wanted to be more than what it was. And he would constantly remind her, listen, baby girl, we not like that. They played the audios. They read the text. She wanted to be in a relationship with him. She testified that she enjoyed the freak offs because it made her feel closer to him. And not only did she enjoy the freak off, she said that after the freak offs, she enjoyed giving him baths, giving him a bath, bathing him, rubbing his feet, massaging him, and performing a lot of motherly, nurturing task for him. Okay. So he had her on ice for 3 months. She reaches out to him a month after Cassie. The defense asked her, is it fair to say that you texted him? She said, yes, it's fair to say that. So you tried to cordially reach out. She said, yes. Her text to Diddy was, you only talk to me while waiting for others. Him, no, I just wanted to hit you up and see how you doing. Watch this. Her to the defense. We took some time apart in October. We separated. And while we were separated, we had a very intense conversation. She said she grew depressed while she was away from Diddy. Both of them felt really bad. And she was giving a lot of details that the defense didn't ask for. So at this point, the judge interrupts her and says, listen, we don't need all that extra detail. Not in those words. I'm just paraphrasing. I just need you to give yes or no answers. And then the defense picks up and say, is it true in December of 2023 that Mr. Combs was not aware that you didn't like freak offs? Did he not say he did not know you felt that way? Watch this, watch this, watch this. A month after Cassie dropped her lawsuit and Jane Doe saw that Cassie received $20 million, Jane Doe started texting Diddy and saying, you're sexually exploiting me. I don't like doing very pointed conversations, right? I don't like freak offs. I feel like I'm being sexually exploited. I feel like I'm being used. I don't like it. I'm being abused. I'm a victim. Very, very pointed words, buzzwords that she hadn't been using for years. I made a mental note and I said, I wonder if she's working with the feds at this point. Just a note, because her communication started to change with him. So anywho, they go and they focus on, give me 1 second. They said, she said they were depressed, but they said, no, we want to focus on the part, because now all of a sudden you take a turn in your communication and you're saying, I don't like this. I told you I don't like it. What did he say to you? She said, he told me, oh, I didn't know. Baby girl, I thought we was both into some kinky shit. I thought we was all, consenting adults. I didn't know. And he also apologized as soon as you made him aware. Is that correct? She said, yes. Then they play an audio from Diddy to her. Watch this. And he said, listen, I don't want to do this with you. I didn't know you felt that way. This seems to be going in a very toxic direction. I don't want to make nobody do nothing they don't want to do. So this is what I need you to do, baby girl. I need you to focus on you. I need you to focus on you. But what do you want me to give you? Why is he asking her, what do you want me to give you? Because she just found out a month before this text that Cassie got 20 million. So he's already being watched by the feds. He's already settled with Cassie for 20 million. At this point, he recognized game. This is a brilliant billionaire. So he's asking her basically, what's your price? What are you asking for? I see where you're going with this. All of a sudden, you don't like it. Okay, what do you need me to give you? Okay. He said, what's the solution? What you asking for? I want you to move on. I need you to move on because I don't want to be in this kind of relationship. This is what she responds. She responds to him and she said, I've been confused and I have not been able to concentrate for the past 3 years. Here's my price. I need you to pay me $100,000 for each year that I've spent with you. That's a total of $300K. Keep following me. And then I need you to give me an extra $150K to settle out the remaining balance of our 2-year love contract. That's a total price of $450,000. That's what she was asking him for in this text message. So the defense says, let me ask you this. A lawyer did not create this demand, right? She says, correct. This came straight from you to Mr. Combs. That's correct. So after Cassie got 20 million, she texted Diddy that she wanted 450K because she's been confused. She realized she's been confused. She's still not in therapy, right? She realized she's been confused for the past 3 years. She can't focus. She's lost concentration. He's been exploiting her. Pay me. Watch this. Okay, that's a good point. Southern California says she was extorting him, right? That's why I said I need everybody to go to jail. I need everybody to go to jail because you could have went to the police because at this point, watch this. At this point, he's under federal investigation. You had already interviewed with the feds. He's already working with your attorney. Why not just, he's already paying for your attorney. Why not allow the legal experts to handle any demands, any ask, or any request? You know why? Because she's a highly trained professional. She don't want them to be aware of what she's doing on the side because she still wants, because then that would require her to issue a formal lawsuit where the attorney would get 33 1/3. She would have to pay 25% based on the state you live in. Some states require tax, some don't. She wanted an underhand, under the table deal. Let me continue. So she sent this demand from her cell phone. The defense says, you stated that for the past 3 years, Mr. Combs had you so isolated that you didn't have any friends to talk to. So you only had him to talk to regarding your feelings. Is that what you testified to the state? She said, yes, I had no friends. They said, okay. Can you explain how you went to Paris Fashion Week with a friend if you had no friends? And can you explain how you took a trip to Vegas with a rapper in January of 2024? Ma'am, you just claimed you have no friends. Can you explain how those two trips happened? One in 2023, one in 2024. Come to find out, there's a rapper that she's nicknamed, allegedly, Bear. Are y'all thumbnail? Bear invited her to come to Vegas for his birthday, which is in January. Bear also sent her $9,000. Is that not an establishment of payment? Payment for what? Keep following me. So Bear contacted you, put you on a private jet, flew you to Vegas in January of 2024 for Bear's birthday, gave you $9,000. You took a few homegirls or two with you. Watch this. She gets to Vegas. Her and Bear and her homegirls and whomever else is with her, they go to dinner. While she's at dinner with Bear, she sees Anton. Oh, who is Anton? Anton is an escort in the freak-offs. She's shocked. She testifies she's shocked to see Anton. Listen, privilege. She's shocked to see Anton. Whoa, what you doing here? Didn't say it, but shocked as fuck. What is Anton doing around all of these rappers? Didn't ask him. Just quietly computing in her head. They leave dinner, her, Bear, and the entourage. Watch this. They go to the strip club. They go out, they party. I'm sure at this point, now Diddy is nowhere to be found. Remember? He manipulated her into freak-offs. He coerced her into freak-offs. She felt pressured to perform for him. For the past 3 years, she's been confused. She can't concentrate because of Diddy. But yet you take a private jet for $9,000 with Bear. Follow me. They go to the strip club. They come back from the strip club. They go to a hotel. They go to the hotel. They go into a room. There's another rapper who's an icon in the industry and several important people in the room. And this rapper is in the room, and his wife is being fucked by Anton. Who is Anton? The professional escort. The defense asked her, wait, so you go in this room and this rapper, but you were invited by another rapper, yes. There. And you go in this room. After the strip club. And what's happening? Another rapper's wife is being done by the escort. The defense said, wait a minute. What is everybody doing? We're all watching. The rappers liked Anton. Whoever Anton is, the men enjoyed watching him do their women or do high-priced, paid female escorts, right? Watch this. The prosecution motioned to have the rapper's name omitted from the testimony. The judge signed the order and the rappers' names were omitted. Watch this, watch this, watch this. Now, when you think about the prosecution, they are the state, they are the feds. When has the feds done a favor for anybody? Nobody, never. Why would the feds not want those names mentioned yet? Because they don't want you to get a heads up. They don't want you destroying evidence like Diddy did. They want you to feel nice, Kanye, allegedly. They want you to feel nice, allegedly, Rick Ross, and whomever else was in that room. And she testified under oath. There was at least 8 to 9 people in the room. They asked her, did you perform any sexual acts? She said no. I believe that's a lie.
Stop the cap, stop the cap, stop the cap.
I believe that's a lie. You are a known industry girl. Bear sent you $9,000. They say you did nothing. No, I sat there and I watched. Okay. She didn't know this. The feds got her damn text messages between her and the rapper. They read. They said, is that his number? She said, yes, it is. Does these texts look familiar? Yes, they do. Come to find out, not only was she in the room, she started dancing. She showed her breasts, and then she didn't admit to anything else. Now, remember, she lied about that. At this point, you're doing freak offs. Why would you lie about a simple dance? At this point, you done did so many men over the years. You're traumatized. You're admitting all of this on the stand. A simple dance wouldn't hurt your testimony. Why would you lie about what you did in that room if you just danced? And they proved that she lied because she said, I just danced. Now, at first she said, no, I didn't do nothing, ma'am. Your text messages are here. She showed her breasts. Now, hold on, Queen Sheba, where you going with this? Remember when Diddy would organize the freak-offs, they would have to dance first. Y'all better quit playing with me. When Diddy would organize the freak-offs, what did they have to do first? Dance. However long he wanted to stream it. They could not skip particular steps. There was an ebb and a flow with the freak-offs. There was a particular way it had to start, which is why I strongly believe this was being streamed underground in the dark web. There's a couple of times she testified that she tried to speed up the process. And Diddy told her, hell no, I ain't ready for that yet. Get back, start dancing. Get back, start touching yourself. So there's a flow, a ebb and a flow. Why would you be dancing in a freak-off if you don't plan on doing nothing? Why would you accept the money in a private jet if you don't plan on doing nothing? That's all I'm saying. Okay? But I just wanted you to know, allegedly, Kanye, allegedly, Bear, and they're holding your names for now. But I do believe Kanye got next, allegedly. That's what I believe. The feds ain't here to protect them. They just not ready for you yet. They putting y'all on ice. Diddy's the first to go. Who else do you think is on that lineup? Who else do y'all think is in that room? 8 to 9 people. Now, here's the thing about how these freak-offs work. So first of all, there's a underground of these freak-offs, right? There's a sexual ring of these freak-offs that most of these celebrity men participate in. Let me just say this, white and black. The white men do a very good job of concealing and hiding their identity. I don't know if it's because they got more money, or I don't know if it's because they move a little bit better. Maybe the black men are a little bit sloppier, greedier, loud, flamboyant. I don't know. But I do know the feds are on to them. If you had to guess, who would be dumb enough to be in that room? Who would be arrogant enough to be in that room? We can eliminate Diddy. He wouldn't dare. Remember, she was forced to do freak offs by Diddy. She would have never done freak offs. And as a matter of fact, the defense got her ass. They asked her, watch this. Hold on. Let me find it. Hold on. Let me get it. They said, you testified that if you could give everything back, all the gifts, all the money, everything you received from Mr. Combs in order to not have done those freak offs, you would give it all back. Is that correct? She said, yes, I would give it all back. And the defense said, everything except your house. Huh? Everything except that house. Is that not right? Baby, when I tell you she looked up, this girl is different.
Oh my God.
She stared down that defense attorney for a good 3 to 5 seconds. The defense said, is it not true that you still have that house? Yes, but you just testified. If you could give everything back to him, you would. Why are you still in that house? Is he not paying for that house? Did he not get that house for you and your son? Something that your son's father would not do? So you would give everything back except that house. Then they start going back and forth. And the defense says, is it not true that over the course of your relationship, Mr. Combs wired you over $150,000? She didn't want to answer. The defense said, I'm asking you a question. Is it not true that Mr. Combs wired you over $150,000? She said, what does my body cost? And the judge reprimanded her and told her, Miss Jane Doe, I've instructed you. I've directed you before. I need you to answer with a yes or no. The defense said, thank you, Your Honor. She said, so they go back. Is it not true? She said, yes, it is true. It is true that he did wire me $150,000. Hold on. So, ma'am, you said you did freak offs because you was afraid of losing your house. Yes. Do you still have the house? Yes. Are you doing freak offs? No. Baby, do you still have the house? Yes. Are you doing freak offs? No. Then they got into her personal business. This is why I know she was lying. They said, are you working currently? Yes. How much money do you make? She did not want to tell that. They rephrased the question. Ma'am, when did you start your dress and your swimsuit business? In 2022. Did Mr. Combs give you $20,000 and invested in that? Yes. Was it profitable? Yes. Was it profitable enough for you to cover your rent? No. Right now, are you working? Yes. Do you make enough to cover your rent? No. No, she said yes. I lied. She said yes. She said yes. So you are perfectly capable financially of remaining in that home, right? The lifestyle that you've become accustomed to, right? But yet Mr. Combs is still paying and you're still accepting. You're still accepting his money to pay your rent. Yes. Watch this. Hold on. They go to December 2023. She said, I want to talk to you about something you said. And they talked about the hotel night. They said, so you said he did know that you didn't want to do freak offs. She said, yeah. How would he know? Because I gave him subtle cues. Subtle cues like what? I would give him looks. I would give him subtle cues. They go, but how would he know if you didn't say it? She said he should have known. He should have just known. Okay. But you would respond after the freak offs. You're the best thing that's ever happened to me. I got on my knees last night and I prayed and I thank God for you. Thank you for taking care of me and my son. I love you. Yes. Why did you send that if you did not enjoy doing those sexual acts? Because I felt obligated. I felt like he would take away my house. And I know him and I know how he responds. Okay. Do you know the escorts personally? No, I don't. Then why would you text them that this was the best night you ever had? Do they pay your mortgage? No. And you don't know them? No. But you responded the same way to the escorts that you did to Mr. Combs. Yes. Wait, y'all, when I tell you this, wait, chew on that. Chew on that. Ma'am, you testified that when Mr. Combs would take ecstasy, he would change. He became different. He became more pushier. And when you would get tired in the freak-offs, he would tell you, let's go, baby. Cross the finish line. Come on, don't get tired on me. Let's go. I need you to finish. Correct? Now, y'all, watch this. Watch this. Does that not sound like a live streaming somewhere in the dark web? Who you pumping her up for? Diddy. Who you pumping her up for, Diddy? Now, I'm not saying Diddy's innocent, because he ain't. And neither is she. Right? We've established that he's not innocent. But I need everybody to go to jail. I need everybody to go to jail. So she would say that Diddy would coerce her to finish when she was tired. They say, how would she know? How would he know that you're tired? Because I looked at him. Ma'am, how would he know you're tired? Because I would give him looks. Okay. Are there times in the freak-offs where you would say, I'm hungry? Yes. Did he get you food? She said something. They said, ma'am, I'm asking you a question. Did he get you food? Yes, he did. So he would stop. No. And she said, yes, but tire meant something else. He should have known what that meant. They said, did the escorts know? Because you said you put on a performance, so much so that nobody would have known that you were not enjoying it. Did the escorts stop? No. Because they wouldn't know, right? Based on your behavior. So if Mr. Diddy couldn't read your mind, and the escort couldn't read your mind. But when you would be direct and say, I want food, did he not stop? Yes. Did he get you food? Yes. Did the escorts eat? Yes. Hold on. She said, then they go, and the government claims that Miss Jane Doe continued the freak-offs because she said that Diddy threatened to stop paying her rent if she stopped the freak-offs. Could that be coercion? Absolutely. Could that be sex trafficking? Absolutely. I have to say that. However, watch this. She testified under oath yesterday that she threatened to stop the freak-offs with him if he didn't get his ass off that island with Young Miami and come home. That's why I said ain't nobody innocent in here. Ain't nobody got clean hands in this. And if you really wanted to stop the freak-offs, why did you go to the freak-offs with the rappers? And not only did she go to the freak-offs with the rappers, watch this. I'm finna blow your damn mind. I'm finna blow your damn mind. Watch this. Hold on. Let me get to it. Hold on. Watch this. At some point during the freak-off in Vegas, the rappers asked her if she knew any male prostitutes. She left that out. The government didn't focus on that. They asked her, you got some more talent you can call? Because remember, nobody can have sex for 2 to 3 days, right? I told y'all that. Physically, you can't, even if you wanted to. So they needed some other men to come in and bang this alleged rapper's wife. They asked her, you know somebody we can call? She said, yeah, I know Cabral. Cabral is the chef in Atlanta. They said, now, ma'am, you don't like freak-offs, right? Mm-hmm. And privacy was very important to you, correct? Yes. Why do you think these rappers would ask you, a woman that's private, a woman that's in a relationship, why would they ask you to recruit for them? She said she had a suspicion that the rappers thought that maybe she knew a little bit about the lifestyle. Girl, you better quit playing with us. They knew. Everybody knew that you were the hired help. Y'all, that's a lie, in my opinion. They asked her because, girl, that's what you were flown there for. The same thing that Diddy asked you to do. Hey, you know somebody, make the calls. You are that girl. You are the recruiter. You made the calls. You paid the money. They were asking you to put them on because they needed this shit to go for days and days at a time. Quit playing with me. If he go to jail, everybody needs to go. Period. They ask you because you are high up in the ranks as it relates to this underground sex ring. And not only that, this woman has an air about herself that is chilling. An air about herself that is chilling. No, she's not an opportunist. I'm sorry. Purple Yellow says an opportunist. No. She's deeper than that. She's deep in the game. And she has an air about herself. And she is cold-hearted. And when she put her hands on that defense attorney, I would have jumped up straight from my seat. She's cold-hearted. She's just as crazy as he is. And let me tell you something. Diddy met his match. When she saw that Cassie got $20 million and she was only getting an allotment of $10,000 a month for housing, that pissed her off. When she saw that Young Miami's kids were on a skiing trip with Diddy and his family, and the black girl was being treated like a family, and she had to stay in her whole place, that pissed her off. When she saw that even Gina, the Tasmanian devil, another crazy Asian girl, was getting better treatment than her, she was pissed. She was pissed because she wanted in. She wanted to climb the ranks of Combs Enterprise. She wanted to be that girl, so much so that she began to resent any and everybody that she perceived to be close to him. KK, Paul, Cassie, Gina, Young Miami, anybody. And today, by her display of disruption in the courtroom, I'm going to say Tenny, which is the defense attorney. See, you wouldn't have pulled that shit with Nicole, the female black attorney. You did it to Tenny. It's a display of dominance. It's a display of superiority. And if I got any experts, maybe Blanca can do a reaction to that and say what that's really about. You dominated her. It's a psychological play, y'all, where I'm going to take over your space without your permission. So everything that you're accusing Diddy of doing to you, you actually operate in subliminal ways when it comes to other women. You dominate, but you couldn't dominate him. You've been in the industry way before Diddy picked you up. And Diddy actually, according to her under oath, Diddy had told her, you crazy. Everybody in the industry told me not to fuck with you because you crazy. Listen, when Cassie's lawsuit dropped in November of 2023, watch this, 7 months later, June 8th, 2024. She said when she read Cassie's lawsuit, it was like reading her own life. The words were her own life, play by play. The only thing that was missing from Cassie, from her life versus Cassie's lawsuit, is there was no physical violence. She testified under oath that Diddy had never touched her, never put his hands on her, never treated her in that kind of way. The worst kind of treatment he would give her would be an attitude. All right, cool. You ain't got to do it. Disconnect. Don't call her. And then maybe love bomb her. Is that against the law? Maybe, maybe not, depending on what the government is looking for. But he never put his hands on her until June 8th, 2024. They were at a freak off. The freak off was being hosted in her home. They set up the red lights. And this is why I also believe this stuff is being streamed on the dark web, underground, allegedly, Comcast. Okay. They would have themes. One of the themes was prom night. When I tell you sick and twisted, baby, ain't nobody clean in this. One of the nights was prom nights. She said she felt it was so beautiful. When I tell you, you got to be some kind of wonderful as a woman to do this over and over. And I know a lot of you are saying victims. Cassie's story is not everybody's story. Let me say it again. Cassie's story is not everybody's story. A full-on production. Thank you, McLiving. A full-on production. So they set up the lights. It was red. Diddy's assistant is there by the name of Jonathan saying, okay, these are the lights he like. We're going to do this. We're going to do that. Jonathan leaves. It's her and Diddy. This is where Anton is going to come over. She's pissed off. She's pissed off because a month before then, Young Miami got to go skiing with her child. Do y'all not remember young Miami on that ski slope looking beautiful with her beautiful child? That created some type of rage within her. And a month later, she waited to see him. And while they were getting prepared for a freak off, she confronted him about it. And as he went down to tie his shoe, she testified under oath that she, with all her might, and they say she lift weights, they say she's strong as hell, with all her might, a woman that lifts weights, rammed his head into the marble countertop in the kitchen. Testified with all my might. Got up, threw candles at him, and threw glass at him. And then went to her rooms, and he kicked in 4 doors to get at her, right? She managed to go out the front door. I think she said he kicked her in the leg and wrapped his arm around her, and she was able to escape a chokehold. She disappeared for 2 hours. She hid out from him. No shoes, barefoot, no phone. She comes back to the house. He's still there. They ask her, what did you do then when you returned to the house? Guess what she said? I punched him in his face a couple of times. Then what happened? Then I ran to the patio. Then what happened? Then he came and he punched me back. Where did he hit you? He hit me in my face. He punched me in my eye. Then what did you do? I dropped down to the ground. I cowered down and he started to kick me. And what is he saying as he's kicking you? He's saying, I have 7 children and you're trying to make sure I never see them again. At this point, y'all, she has an attorney. At this point, it's 7 months post Cassie's lawsuit. At this point, he's under federal investigation. At this point, Homeland Security has already contacted her. She's already been talking to federal agents. At this point, she has an attorney to represent her. At this point, also, she's still doing freak-offs. She's still doing freak-offs. If you felt threatened, if you felt any of that, you could have told the feds and they would have locked his black ass up. Do you understand me? But you wanted to incite physical violence to add to your list. And not only that, the defense was able to tell that you started to document heavily in December 2023. You've never kept the journey before then. Now you're keeping detailed notes about what's happening, your state of mind, and you got him to hit you back. And a good point that the prosecution made is the state said, but Your Honor, this can be very misleading to the jury because the defense is trying to influence the jury to believe that she's going that she's being dishonest about what happened to her. Her testimony is not authentic, and she's trying to change the line of her testimony to meet what could be perceived as the government's expectations. Baby, when I tell you, what's that guy's name? Driscoll? He jumped up, the associate. He said, first of all, she hasn't filed a lawsuit yet. Let's be clear. Number 2, she's still well within the statute of limitations. Just because she hasn't filed one doesn't mean she won't. And now, not only did she get him on sex trafficking, she was able to get him to hit her. She was able to get him to hit her. Now remember, when they said when you slammed his head into the marble countertop, according to you with all your might, and you threw glass at him and you threw candles, did he hit you? Guess what she said? No, he did not. No, he did not. And you left and you ran out. You ran through, he kicked down 4 doors. Yes, he did. You were on he put you in a chokehold as you were trying to run out the front door. You were able to escape. Yes. You were gone for approximately 2 hours. That's correct. And you came back. Yes. He still hadn't hit you yet. That's correct. And then you proceed to punch him in the face. Yes. Then he hit you. Correct. Listen. At the end of the day, I think the defense did a great job of outlining and proving not only did she have legal representation in 2024, Not only did she have access to Homeland Security in 2024, it is a fact that he needed to keep his slate clean, right? Because anything he could have done would have put his ass in jail. So if he would have sneezed wrong, she had the power just to pick up the phone and reach out and touch somebody like AT&T. But she didn't. She decided to play her way, to get paid her way. She decided to call the shots, and she continued to do the freak-offs. She continued to do the freak-offs while he was under federal investigation. Whoa. This proved, I feel like, as me sitting in the courtroom, the defense did a great job of outlining that, number one, she was not trapped. Number two, she was already working with the feds. She could have reported him, but she chose not to. He had been under federal investigation. And you know what it sounds like to me? She was playing both sides. To me. I think Diddy thought he was in control. I think once she learned how things work, I don't think Diddy realized that she was actually in control. But you know what? I don't feel no fucking way about it. That's what all of their black asses get. That's what you get. I don't feel no way about it. You walked into that trap. You could have backed out, Diddy. You had a sexual desire and a sexual appetite that you profited off of. You became dark even under consent. You became dirty even under consent. You're a fucking billionaire. And at some point, I think you get too far down the road. It's called drifting. If you understand anything about Napoleon Hill and the book Outwitting the Devil, there's a window of opportunity when you drift in life. And I think they said it's about a 7-year period on a spiritual level, where if you don't change your behavior within a 7-year period, it's too late. And I know some of y'all, it ain't never too late. God, all is possible. It may not, all is possible, but you'll always crave it. It'll always hunt you. It'll terrorize you. It'll be the back of, that's why alcoholics or recovering addicts can't be around people that drink. Because even though they didn't have a drink for 20 years, one bad move got them. That's it. That's all. That's my commentary today. Allegedly, Kanye West, allegedly, Rick Ross, and allegedly whomever else was in that room. Bad boys, what you gonna do? What you gonna do when they come for you? And I truly believe that the government is savvy, sophisticated, and they didn't want your names to be released for a reason. They want you to get comfortable. They want you to sit back, relax, and enjoy the flight. They want you to go and feel like you're not, hey, they ain't looking at me. They're taking up for me. They scratched my name. They just not ready for you yet. That's it. That's all. I am Queen Sheba. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. I am going to go to my super chats really quickly. And listen, I need one more week in New York. If you can afford to help me by donating, it is so expensive. I got to pay. My line guy is already in line. He's been standing in line since 6 p.m. Listen, only if you can. If I can get one more week, y'all, that's all I need. But I have to be there. It is so hard. They only take the first 14 people. I thank those of you that have been very supportive. I thank those of you that are new to this channel. I thank you, because what I'm trying to bring you is everything that's happening in that courtroom without leaving out shit, so that you can have the information to make the determination that you need to make. You get what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. Tony Love said they picking and choosing. So I'm just telling you what went down today. A lot of people don't feel comfortable telling you what the women did. They don't, because nobody wants to be in the hot seat. It's not cool to talk about the women, but I'm gonna tell you, yeah, she about that life. A lot of them are about that life. Period, point blank. And I said what I said. And I think those of you that are coming over from TikTok, listen, that's it. That's all. I don't want to hold you any longer. I got to go eat. But if you can keep me in New York, I promise to keep it coming. I'm saying shit. And as a matter of fact, look, the mob wives, y'all, Sammy the Bull's daughter started following me because they know I'm telling the truth. They know what's going on here in New York. I'm unfiltered. I'm not in bed with the media. I'm going to give it to you. I ain't on nobody's side, but this did happen in the courtroom. 50 Cent's baby mama reposted me. I'm like, no, no, don't be reposting nothing. Just let me do my thing. Shit, I'm undetected up in there right now. One guy came by me I saw you. I'm like, oh my God. So if I can stay in New York, give me one more week. I got y'all. Thank you, everybody, from tuning in. And I'm going to highlight my super chats. And then I got to go eat because I got to get up at like 4:30 in the morning. It's hard. It's some of the hardest work I've ever done, but I appreciate y'all.
All right, Palace. The Super Chat Squad is in the building. We appreciate you, baby. The Super Chats are fire. Get in your bag.
That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Real quick, let me highlight these super chats. I thank you, everybody. Love Bug. Thank you for the 5-piece and the pepper, baby. She says, get a cup of coffee on me. I do. And I have it delivered to me in line because I got to stand in that line a long time. The line, let me tell you how it works. You got to listen. You got to pay top dollar. These people spend the night. Check out my shorts. They sleep in tents. They spend the night for us. K Wood, thank you, King, for the 2-piece and the pepper. He said exactly. The elites was, thank you. The elites were in those rooms. And now that you know, go down a rabbit hole. I'm giving you what you need. JP Morgan Chase, Comcast. Start looking, just start everything that I'm dropping here, right? Go down a rabbit hole. See who's sitting on these boards. Go through some of these old videos. See who's in those rooms with him. Kim Johnson, thank you for the 5-piece. We appreciate you. Listen, Kay Wood spun the block with a 2-piece and a pepper. Says, hit the like button and subscribe. She's cooking. Thank you. Everyday Ebony, we appreciate you for the 5-pieces. Can't wait to catch up. Hello, Palace. Listen, Miss B, member for 19 months, said, did Kanye show up to support Diddy? And listen, now here's the thing. Let me tell you why I didn't talk on that. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I don't know. I didn't see it. I didn't hear it. I don't know. One of my closest sources told me no. That doesn't mean it didn't happen. I trust this source, so I'd rather not say it if I didn't see it, if I didn't hear it. You get what I'm saying? Doesn't mean it didn't happen. But I tell you what I hear and what I see. Betty Boop, thank you for the 10-piece and the pepper. Says, Queen, something is wrong with all of them. Just crazy and nasty. Yes. Zippy. Thank you, Zippy, for the 20-piece. Sending what I can. Thank you so much. Oh, look, a Casanova 1901 is in his bag. You better get in your bag.
You better get to the bag. Don't let them hoes stop your bag.
Hey, thank you, 1901 Casanova, for the 50-piece super sticker. Listen, only me one kind backing it up, then jump with another 50-piece. Says, keep going, Queen Sheba. Tiffany Gilliam, thank you for the 20-piece and the pepper, because we love that chicken from Popeyes. Listen, call me darling, coming through with a 10-piece and a pepper. She says, you are doing a great job. Tammy McClure coming through with a 5-piece super sticker. Let me tell you something. My palace over here, my people support me. They knew I was coming. They knew that we was going to give some good content. I just had to get comfortable and get a feel and a lay of the land. I found my sweet spot. I found my cadence. I'm good to go. Let's go, y'all. Miss Williams, thank you for the 10-piece and a pepper. We appreciate you being here. And thank you, everybody. God bless you all. I got to go eat really quick before the restaurant close. Thank you, everybody that are sending me the transcripts. As soon as this weekend, I will be just doing all of my research. I promise you. And we're going to keep it going. Tara Pender, thank you for the 20-piece and a pepper. IT Geek, I love it. IT Geek, a Black woman in tech. She says, coffee money. Thanks for the commentary. Thank you. And listen, I share with the homeless people that are out there. I make sure I take care of them and get them a bite to eat as well. Critical Thinker 3, thank you for the 50 piece and a pepper. The only unbiased reporting. Much respect. No, thank you. And listen, sometimes my commentary will change based on what's happening in real time in that courtroom. Traveling GMA coming through y'all with a 5 piece and a biscuit. Says hit the like button, subscribe, and donate to the Cash App if you can. We see you, Ms. Gwen, with the 5 piece super sticker. We appreciate you, Queen. Mocha Pam coming behind with a 5 piece. She says, excellent job, Queen. Thank you, Mocha. We appreciate you. And I think that's all. And listen, I am going to do a members only. And I'm going to give you my true thoughts. That's why I can say what I want to say. All right? We're going to do that this weekend. Thank you, everybody. I got to go. God bless you all. I will be dropping the link on Saturday. Saturday, we're going to do a live. And that's where I'm going to drop the link where y'all get to come up and talk, give your opinion, and ask questions. God bless you. I got to go. I got to go. I got to go.
You all should be ashamed. How can you drink right after a funeral? Like this? Give me another one, then, Brady. Fred Sanford, you just left the house of the Lord, and now I'm in my house. All y'all ought to be ashamed drinking like a school of fish. My Bible says, be not drunk with wine. What did it say about scotch? Hey, why'd you go someplace else? Why'd you go ugly up somebody else's house? Who you calling ugly, sucker? You.